one of the numbers that we were looking at is how much it actually costs for marketing and sales. Like what percentage of our budget, like of our revenue, do we actually spend to get ahead and abed or whatever it is? And the reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys is I see a lot of hosts who have the very best of intentions, but they either have underallocated, they haven't allocated, or they don't even know how to allocate a budget to marketing. And then they feel like the whole world's on their shoulders. If this is you, feel free to put it in the chat, or if this is partially you, feel free to put it in the chat. And I'm happy to read your experiences with it. Generally speaking, what my financial people want is for us to spend no more than 15% of our budget on marketing. And as I was thinking again about you guys, I was like, do people actually know that they should be spending 15 to 20% on marketing of their total retreat revenue? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, I'm not even selling tickets, or it's a little hard for me to sell tickets. I spent, since 2013 in a 12-step recovery program, the money program called Debtors Anonymous and Under Earners Anonymous. And one of the things that that program has gifted me, is the ability to get impeccable with my numbers. And I'm not perfect, but I do try to be impeccable, and progress, not perfection. And so I wonder sometimes, are hosts not as successful financially as they could be because they haven't done the right, proper financial planning? So, for example, if you are going to generate 100,000 from your retreat revenue, 60% of that should go to costs of goods sold. In other words, at Imiloa, that's really easy because it's just like, what's Imiloa cost? That whatever that cost is, whatever campus you're at, should be 60% of the total revenue that you bring in. And if you're bringing in 100,000, 15,000 should be spent on marketing and sales, not more. We spent 17% last year, so we went over by 2%. But 15% of your retreats gross revenue should be allocated. And of course, if this is your first retreat or even your fifth retreat, and you're like, I don't know how many tickets I'm going to sell, so how do I do it? It's a rule of thumb, right? Where not everything is perfect. Sometimes you got to learn how to fly the plane after takeoff while there's a bunch of red going off in the cockpit. That's what the story is with entrepreneurship. A lot of red constantly going off in the cockpit and addressing one thing at a time. Same thing for us as it is for you. That's why this relationship is really symbiotic. And generally, rule of thumb, what the finance people tell me that you can be thinking about is 10 to 15% profit, 20% if you're really rocking. So some of these retreat hosts that we have, and they can because they charge a lot, see 50, 60, 70, 80% profits. But really, if you're in the 10 to 15% range, which again, if you're on 100,000, that means you're walking away, you in your pocket with 15,000. And I know this is a different way to think about it, but this is how to think of it in terms of a business that's running. 10 to 15,000 in your pocket net if you're generating 100,000. Now, some of you might be saying, oh gosh, I that's not enough. Okay, great. Well, then come to FamTrip and then implement what we say and do a VIP one day before you arrive, drop another 10,000 to the bottom line based on your marketing flywheel, right? Because you've already allocated 15% to marketing, and one person will always buy a VIP one day, always. And then have a final night offer. Robin Vogel last week told us about her final night offer, and it converted 75%. And so being clear on the numbers just allows the nervous systems to regulate rather than, oh, am I going to fill this? What am I going to do? Just being really clean and clear. And that's what we're trying to bring forward. And that's what we mean when we talk about transformed leadership.